So on today's agenda are a lot of little things, but most importantly, all done with this car. This is a rental that I'm only able to use for the next 3 hours, then I have to give it back. I think on today's episode, I want to talk a little bit about doing actually what you love, because I feel like negative energy can be contagious, but so can positive energy be. So if you do something that you love, it just transcends your own space and infects everything that surrounds you, and especially the people that you surround yourself with. It's a contagious energy, this momentum of just like loving your life and doing what you like and doing what you love and continuously working at it. That is something that a lot of other people will realize in your network as well, and that's just a gravitating feeling. So yeah, let's talk today a little bit about doing what you love, and that may be whatever it may be, right? It doesn't have to be the artist's vocation where you're every day of the week and you're creatively expressing yourself. You can find a loving attitude towards your work in everything that you do. And finding the thing you love to do is sometimes so hard, because sometimes we fall in love with the idea of being something and not actually with everything that entails being that something. So sometimes we think of an artist and think of like, oh, I'm falling in love with the idea of being a recognized painter, of somebody who's involved in the arts and gets invited to these nice events. But this is not what the life of an artist looks like. The life of an artist is one where you're constantly doubting yourself, where you're constantly in a process of finding out what you actually want to put on the canvas, where you're constantly in some kind of search for the right solution for this one painting. And it's a grind, and you have to be willing to be alone for hundreds of hours and just paint away. And that's the process you have to love. It's not the outcome that you get to love, but the process. And I think the German word for passion is quite fitting. It's called Leidenschaft. And Leidenschaft contains the word suffering. So it's something that produces suffering, but you're still doing it despite of the suffering because you love it so much. And I think that is a quite fitting description of being an artist, for example. And this also applies to me, that sometimes I fall in love with the idea of something, but I don't actually love the process. So for example, I really want to create LUTs and digital assets and want to sell them. Why? Because I've seen photographers and videographers do that quite a lot. But of course, when you sit down and actually have to do the work and have to dig through all of the technicalities and have to learn how to adapt so that every single picture comes out looking the exact same way you want it to, that is a fucking whole different question. So yeah, I'm currently realizing also that myself, I have to really find out what I love doing. But in order to do that, we have to try it out, right? I'm stuck in traffic. Let's talk about this painting. Now, as you can see, this is quite the big painting. I am 2 meters tall. I think this looks like 230. Now, this is one of my latest paintings, and I really love it for one particular reason, and that is its minimalistic approach. So in order to explain this painting, I have to first introduce you to an author of a book I'm currently reading. And his name is Vadim Zeland, and he writes the book Reality Transurfing. And in that book, he proposes a concept of these alternate realities. So basically, I am currently this version in this reality, but out there, basically in the metaphysics, there is a version of me where I'm a millionaire, homeless, where I am super successful but depressed, where I am not successful at all but lovingly living life. So there's all of these possibilities out there, and whatever energy I put into the universe, it's what I attract. So if I put negative energy out there, I will switch to a lifeline where negative things happen to me. And if I put positive energy out there and radiate at the correct energy frequency, I will attract exactly what I want in my life. And on this picture here, you can basically see that it's built like a artistic version of a binary code. A binary code is either 1 or 0, and it's the way most computing systems are built. And here you can also have two informations. It's either black or nothing at all, so basically the canvas structure beneath it. And since it is painted with a brush stroke that is very, very thick, you will have so many bristles in between that all of these little lines make up, I think, at least over 1 million different small little black lines, or nothing, so just the canvas. And basically this represents to me the life you can lead with all of the alternate realities in between. So basically, if this is the beginning of your life and this is the end, you can always, wherever you might start, switch into these different lifelines and stay there until the end, or switch to a different line that is more to your liking. And I think this is a really important interpretation of wherever you are, you can definitely change your life into whatever direction you want. The only restriction you have is that at some point your life has to end, unfortunately. So yeah, I think I got everything I need. Now we have to drive back, give back the rental car, and then it's on to working on the project again. But yeah, now first give back the rental car. 3% of battery left. Everything went fine with the rental car service. Now going back home on the bus. Alright guys, fast forward 3 hours later and I haven't gotten anything done yet. So I ate some lunch and then I had to do a ton of bureaucratic stuff regarding the German tax office. They do want to see your numbers quite often, so I had to prepare that. So yeah, but I'm also thinking about maybe going to Jiu-Jitsu in about half an hour, but as you can see, I don't have anything on. It's 30 degrees outside and inside it's also very hot, so don't know yet if I want to do that, but yeah, I think I do. Well, we'll see. Alright guys, so I just had this thought on the bike, and the next thought was like, yeah, I could never say this on the vlog. What will my clients think? What would person A, B, and C think? And my next thought was like, this type of thought, exactly this type of input is super important to share, because I want this honest and vulnerable and really nice connection to you guys through the vlog. I want to have that, and in order for that I need to make myself very clear and very honest and very blunt. I'm not cut out for providing value every day of the week. I'm not cut out to work on complex problems every day of the week. That is just, to me, is unsustainable. And I've realized that on the bike that the kind of day I have right now, it would be the perfect balance for me. It would be the perfect balance in between of exercising, eating well, having enough time to prioritize sleep, having enough time to do creative endeavors and projects, and then of course to work and to apply my talents to something in real life in a complex way, but then also to take a step back, to recover, to regroup, and to think about all of the process I've made and then get back to it. Especially as freelancers in the creative field, we never talk about this because it's super important that we always have this kind of attitude towards other people where we talk about what we do, and we always have the appearance of being open to work and being super happy about anything that comes your way. And with videos like this, I think this is creative suicide, but whatever. I think if somebody would have told me this 6 months ago, I would have deeply understood and felt really related to it. I think it's super important to give yourself creative breath, to give yourself some room to breathe in, to breathe out, to have balance in your life, to prioritize the things that are important to you. Because on the topic of doing things you love, not having any time to breathe, to recover, and to regroup will turn a passion you love into a job you fucking hate. And that almost happened to me a few months ago. So you have to have that kind of breath, that kind of room to grow as a soul, as a person, as an artist, as a creative. You need that. And if you don't give yourself this room, your creative soul, your body, and your mind will take it from you. And it will come to a full stop. So you have to give yourself that balance lovingly because you need that. All right, guys. I guess this is it for today. Lots of love. Peace.